Hi everybody, my name's Anne. Thanks for joining me on Art on the Creek. You're with me in my home studio in Parker, Colorado, and I'm really happy that you're here. It's August. We made it. We made it through World Watercolor Month, July 2023. And if you're watching this later in a different year or another time in the future, future for me as I'm recording this, then check it out. Check out World Watercolor Month. If you haven't tried it yet, you might really like it. It's a full month dedicated to watercolor. Just look for it on all the social media and you'll be able to discover what it's all about. I'll put a link to my World Watercolor Month playlist in the description of this video. But what I want to go over today is something fun because August, at least here in Colorado, that is the month that a lot of kids go back to school, all the way from kindergarten to college. So if you're looking for a diversion, I have something really fun for you today. Let's check out the Viviva Colors Adult Coloring Books. Let's see what they are. Are you ready? Here we go. Those of you who have been watching my channel for the past month in July when it was World Watercolor Month will be very familiar with this little guide. This is the Viviva Travel Art Kit. And Viviva reached out to me and the timing just happened to be perfect for World Watercolor Month. So that's why I have these items. These are sold separately. I will have an affiliate link down in the description where you can go shopping for anything Viviva that you like. If you do choose to go shopping, I'm going to go ahead and thank you in advance because anything that you purchase, there will be a small commission that comes my way toward Art on the Creek, and that money will go 100% back into making videos like this for you where I can feature products and make reviews and help you make decisions on how you'd like to spend your art supply budget, because I know that a lot of us keep a good eye on that and we want to know what's worth our time and our money. The travel kit comes with the Viviva color sheets, which are really kind of unique. They're watercolors in sheet format, and they've got this little rice paper or some kind of vellum in between there so that it doesn't stick when it's wet. You can just close it right up. Fits in this pocket. Comes with a water brush that's really good. This is the A6 size. I really like this paper. I can't wait to finish this, filling this up. This is what I use for my World Watercolor Month and for all the prompts. And then a fine liner. So that's what's included in this one. I know you guys are really familiar with that one if you've already been watching my channel, but just in case you haven't, then that's what this piece is all about. And then these guys are the watercolor set. This is the summer set, and it has some really cool, there's two different palettes that you can get. This one is summer. I really, really like how bright they are. They're very vibrant. This is a mixing area that just wipes clean. It's kind of laminated in a way. There's a little bit of a coating on there so that it gives you plenty of space to mix. I was skeptical. I thought that the paper would wear out. It's not. It's hanging in there just fine. And I did make my own swatch sheet though on watercolor paper because the swatch sheet paper they give you is made of this, and it has this kind of a plastic coating to it. So that's the only suggestion I would make, is to make your own color swatch. So I'm going to use these. Let's set this aside though for just one quick second and let's take a look at these coloring books. So the first one that they have is Cityscapes, and there are 24 sketches in here, 24 GSM, 120 pound paper. The paper feels very familiar to the sketchbook paper that comes in the travel kit, so I'm assuming it's the same. This is the A5 size, which, by the way, you can also get the travel kit in that size. This little sketchbook that I have here is an A6, so you can see there's a little bit of a size difference there. This is about 3 inches by 5.5 or 3.5 by 5, something like that. In fact, let's just measure it. Let's just get right down to the facts, shall we? It is, there we go, 4 inches by 6 inches, of course. I can never remember, 4 by 5.5. I have a little chart hanging in my studio telling me what sizes all of these are, and I always have to measure. So the A5 is about 6 inches by 8 inches, which in my mind is an ideal size for a sketchbook if you're traveling. However, if you're traveling light, I'm newly awakened to the A6 size. I really kind of like that. So 6 inches by 8 inches for these coloring books. This one is Cityscapes, so they're really nice line drawings, and the fun thing about these is they're only printed on the one side. So you have this entire back side here where you could make another drawing. You could write some lyrics to go with this, either lyrical information like prose. That's what I'm trying to say. A poem or some thoughts, feelings. You could journal. You could use this blank side of these pages for just about anything. But there's some really nice designs in here. They kind of have that Zentangle feel. So if that's something that appeals to you, they're just very whimsical and fun and delightful. And the Cityscapes one and the floral both come with these 24 sketches. So let's take a quick gander at the floral before we move on. Here's a gal with flowers in her hair. Love yourself. Same thing. They're only printed on the one side so that you can continue to color or do whatever you want on that other blank page. And this one is it's like a mandala. Here's another Zentangle, some birds. This is cute, little coffee. You could also take these out of here. You can slice that and take them out and then hang them up in your kitchen if you wanted to. Here's a nice little bird. This one's really pretty with the squirrel and the flowers. In fact, I really like this one. I think this is the one we should do, don't you? Because I think this watercolor palette goes really nice with it. So I'm gonna just set that over there, put this here, and the brush I'm gonna use today, since we're dealing with some kind of small spaces in here, I'm gonna pull out my Trekell number 4 Protege round. So I'm just gonna go right into this beige yellow here. And let's see how well we can do some layering on here. My friends, guess what? I am pleasantly surprised. Okay, I am not an adult coloring book person. I have never bought one. That's not true. I bought one Disney one so that I could color some things with one of my grandkids. But that is the only reason that I've ever purchased an adult coloring book. I think they're great for tracing things, for making other designs, but I've never really used one. I've never colored in one. And as soon as I got started painting in this, I was having fun. I can't lie. It was a lot of fun. And it was so neat because it was mindless. And I mean that in a really positive, good way. If you want something to relax with, adult coloring books just might be the key for you. I mean, I have never used one before really, other than, like I said, just to play with a little bit. But this was a lot of fun, and they've got some really cute drawings in here. Some of the spaces are big, some of the spaces are small, but they are all suitable for watercolor. You could do ink pens, you could do color pencil, you could do different kinds of pencil. There are so many different kinds of media that will work in here, and that's what's so neat about this. This paper is heavy enough. It is printed only on the one side, so you have enough room to put a whole design of your own on the back. And since it's 120 pound, 240 GSM, I mean, that is almost as thick as a standard sheet of watercolor paper, but it feels thicker than that. It's really nice paper, and I knew that. I love this paper. I really do think it's a decent sketchbook paper. I was first introduced to it with the Viviva travel kit that I showed you in the beginning, but now it is in here, and I'm thrilled. I really love it. As I'm painting this, though, I'm thinking, I wonder what this is going to look like with some colored pencil added to it. So let me get to that point, and we'll see what we can do with some colored pencil on top of watercolor, because I have a feeling that with the watercolor under here, it's really going to make the colored pencil pop. So let's see what that does. I'm using Prismacolor colored pencils because I have found that on projects like this, when you're doing colored pencil over watercolor, a really soft pencil is just so fun to use. And that's the way that I create art. If you have a lighter hand, I think you might prefer a harder color pencil. But I really like the Prismacolors for this purpose. And right now I'm just kind of going to try and do some sort of an ombre background. This is like not me at all. I don't deal in rainbow colors. I don't deal in sunsets. I just don't. So this was really kind of fun for me because I was surprising myself. It was just, once I got started, it was like I couldn't stop. And I'm so pleasantly described. I'm literally tickled. I cannot understand why I've never tried this before. So that's my little personal plus note to all of this, is that it helped me to understand that maybe there's a little bit more creativity in me than I thought. And I was maybe selling some of these adult coloring books short a little bit, but this one is, I think, worth some attention. So let's get past the background and let's go see what I was talking about that color pencil really jumping out on the watercolor. I'm going to go over the purple that I've done on the flowers, and it's just adding this layer of velvety lusciousness to these flowers, and it's just so fun. I feel like I can be free and play and discover what the capabilities are of this combination, and that, my friends, is exactly why I love art so much. When you are sitting down and just playing and creating, those are the moments that you can have the most fun with art. And that's what I like to teach on this channel, and I think that this particular coloring book really fit the bill. So I just love the way that all of these colored pencils are laying on top of the watercolor. They feel really good to put down, and you're able to add some shading and dimension that maybe you didn't get in with your watercolor, or maybe you want to enhance some of the things that you did get in with your watercolor. It just makes mixed media really easy, and the texture of this paper is almost like hot press. Not quite. It's not quite a cold press, not quite a hot press. It's very smooth. That's what I would say that it is. It's kind of a smooth grain, cold press watercolor paper, and it's very, very nice to use, particularly with these colored pencils. So let me just put some shading under this squirrel here on his little mushroom, and let's move on to the end. Now, I know very well that as colored pieces go, this is nothing to write home about, but the bottom line is this was for me. I had fun doing it, and I think that if you're in the market for something like that, or you know someone who is, these little adult coloring books are really kind of cool. I have not seen a variety of drawings like this. Usually the ones that I see are either full of the mandala style designs, or they are full of house plants, or they kind of stick to one theme. But when you're looking at this next one with the cityscape, even there you've got some different kind of themes. Like this is kind of a little Victorian style a town, and it reminded me of a mountain town we have called Georgetown. It's one of the original silver settlements in Colorado. Started out as gold, then there was a bust, and it turned to silver. But Georgetown is pretty easy access from Denver, and they have all of these gingerbread style architecture, all the gingerbread style architecture on the houses, and they are painted in loud, vibrant colors. So on this one, I just wanted to see what it was like to color if I was just using the Prismacolors alone and not using watercolor. And you know what? It was a lot of fun. I had no trouble whatsoever, and once again, I really like this paper. It doesn't have enough texture that your pencils won't be able to grab on, and that pigment isn't going to stick. So that's kind of a double negative way to say this, to say it. But the texture is smooth enough so that when you layer on your colored pencil, it'll look very smooth, and you won't be able to see that texture of the paper. Now, on the leaves here, I did a little bit with 3 different colors of green in colored pencil to just try and get some dimension in the leaves. The colors that I used are sap green light, kelp green, and also the spring green. And again, these are just Prismacolor colored pencils. You can use any colored pencils at all. You could use Crayola, you could use whatever brand you get from the dollar store, just, you know, whatever you want to do that will let you be free, have fun, and take some time to create. I think that these little adult coloring books really lend very, very well to that, and they're not obtrusive at all. They just don't take up any room. I mean, they're so small. If you commute to work by train or a light rail, or if you take a subway, you could easily stash one of these in your work bag and color on your way to work, and you'd be all relaxed and zen by the time you get in there and have to open 5,000 emails because that's the way my job was when I was working. But I had to drive to work, so I didn't have time to color. So maybe you're lucky enough. If you have some time set aside at home, or if you're waiting to pick the kids up from school, waiting for their sporting events, it is back to school season here in Colorado. And like I said, all grades from kindergarten through college go back to school about mid-August. And it is kind of melancholy for me because even though I love football season so much, I kind of am going to miss having my daughter around. She was living with us this summer, in fact, for a couple of years, because she took some time off of college, but she's going to go back in the fall. And even though I'm excited for her, I'm going to miss her. So maybe I will get one of these coloring books and I will color a page for her. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take that floral book and write her a little note, a little something to let her know I'm thinking of her opposite the drawing that I did, and then I can send that to her in college. With a care package, with her own set of colored pencils, this is the floral book that I'm talking about, that I will send this to her and let her fill it in. And then if she likes it, maybe later on in the year, I can send her the cityscape one as well. So these are just really a great segue for you to become more creative than you thought you could be. I know that that certainly hit me that way, and I have a feeling that these will do the same for you as well. You could have a lot of fun at, let's say, at a family reunion if you put these out on the on the table and let everybody do a page, and then you'd have a really cool souvenir from your family reunion. Maybe you know, whoever wants to come and sit at the art table and draw a little bit. And then the keeper of the things that are family reunion could hang on to that and bring it out the next year. All kinds of fun things you could do with these books. You don't just have to keep them for yourself. They make great gifts. And because they are such a convenient size with that A5, remember 6 inches by 8 inches, they will also fit into the travel art kit. So if you wanted to go painting, didn't quite know what you wanted to paint, but you really wanted to be outside on your lunch break and paint anyway, you could certainly paint one of these scenes from the coloring book. And then the next day you went out, you could just flip it over, use the back side, and paint whatever it is you're looking at. So really it's 2 books in one. You have a wonderful 24 pages of sketches that you can fill in and color any way you like. And you also have 24 blank pages to use. So I think these are a lot of fun, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little demonstration of the Viviva Adult Coloring Books. And don't forget, if you shop from that affiliate link in the description below, you'll be helping out Art on the Creek. But more importantly, if you copy and paste that coupon, you'll be able to save money for yourself. So once again, I'm going to thank you in advance for using the affiliate link, because again, I do earn a small commission from that, but what it does is it goes right back to you. It helps me to make these kinds of videos and reviews that I know that you guys are enjoying, and I thank you for that as well. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today, and if you do have back to school in your life, I hope it goes very, very well. We'll see you guys. Have a great day. Bye now.